Hello, and welcome to Aman Ministries, as we continue on with another sign, the great dragon revealed of Revelation 12. Part 3, Finding the Real Dragon, the Shining One, and the 7 Lucifers. In ancient times, according to Professor Max Muller, a renowned and leading scholar of ancient Sanskrit, one of the oldest known languages, Asian cultures, the Hebrews, referred to these 7 stars that we know as the Big Dipper as the Shining Ones. These stars later became known as the Bears due to a translation error. And as still more time passed, the Bears eventually became known as the Great Bear. And this takes us to one place in all of Scripture. The Shining One. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning! How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations! For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. And in Hebrew, the name Lucifer, Hallel, means the Shining One. And here, Lucifer is directly connected to the stars of heaven. The 7 shining ones in Hebrew are literally the 7 Lucifers. Now, I was looking for the 7 heads to the great dragon, the devil, Satan, that serpent of old. And 7 Lucifers certainly sounded like a pretty good possibility to me. But to be the 7 heads of the dragon, these 7 stars had to be right next to Draco, and they'd have to be located at either end of Draco, with no other constellations in between either one of them. So what are the odds? With 48 ancient constellations and 88 modern constellations. Now, while we're going to get there in just a moment, when I created the background for the presentations, I did so with the intent of creating a teachable moment for all of you. That teachable moment is here. The simple truth is, we can be looking right at one of God's greatest prophetic truths and never see it for what it is, unless He allows us to see it. However, all we need do is ask. Our Father loves giving good gifts to all who believe and who ask. And yes, you have actually been looking at the 7 heads of the great dragon the whole time in all of our presentations. Now, let's go take a look at the 7 Lucifers next to the great dragon of the heavens and see the next gift that he has for us. The 7 shining ones. Among the 48 constellations and the 88 modern constellations, it just so happens that the great dragon and the 7 Lucifers are right next to each other, and with this, the 7 Lucifers perfectly create the 7 heads of Revelation 12 without a single star constellation separating them. You get that? 88 modern star constellations, and not one ended up coming between the great dragon and the 7 Lucifers. So far, we have a perfect match to Revelation 12:3. Now, we were looking for another sign which appeared in heaven, and a great dragon having 7 heads. We have also confirmed this with Isaiah 14, which tells us far more. While it directly links the name Lucifer to the stars of heaven, Isaiah 14 also confirms that this is in fact the correct location in the stars of heaven. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer! How you are cut down! How you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, on the farthest sides of the north. Lucifer, the shining one, is said to have been the one who was fallen from heaven and cut down, although he claims he will ascend above the stars on the farthest sides of the north. And this is the exact location of the great dragon. Now here we can see the North Star Polaris. And here we have the great dragon of the heavens. And again, it's, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God on the farthest sides of the north. The dragon's location is on the farthest sides of the north where Lucifer fell. And this dragon is a fallen dragon. Here we see Thurban, which means head, and that's the name of the star. It's Alpha Draco, or Alpha Draconis. Alpha Draconis, used to be the North Star. You heard me right. Alpha Draconis used to be the North Star. In the time of Adam, this was the North Star. Now, here we can see the North Star Polaris and Thurban Alpha Draco, along with the equatorial grid, which shows us the farthest sides of the north. And here we can see the precession circle. It is the Earth's 26,000-year wobble cycle. Okay? It takes the Earth 26,000 years to move through this cycle. And this, in fact, is the very reason why the great sign itself can only appear once every 26,000 years. Now, 6,000 years ago, Thurban Alpha Draco fell from its position of being the North Star to its current position, which you see here. Now, if we go back 6,000 years to the time of Adam, and we look at Thurban as the North Star, now look at where the 7 Lucifers are, the 7 shining ones. They are at the farthest sides of the north, where Lucifer fell. The dragon and the 7 Lucifers are, in fact, a perfect scriptural match. Now, I know that some people are going to contend that, well, wait a minute, the dragon is drawn and look, his head is down over here. Well, as I've pointed out before, this is a modern artist's rendering of the great dragon. It's not an ancient rendering of the dragon, it's a modern rendering. And Thurban, or Alpha Draco, actually means head. Okay, now look at where Thurban, or Alpha Draco, is located, and look at where the head is drawn. And again, Thurban means head. Now, the dragon is the crooked one in Isaiah 27:1. Now, when we just look at the dragon, okay, it's a serpent, it makes an S pattern, but the crookedest part of the dragon is where they have the head drawn. In fact, that is the dragon's tail, and this is where the name, the crooked one, I believe, comes from. But we are looking for the 7 heads for the great dragon, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan. What we located were the 7 Lucifers, which are in fact perfectly located next to the great dragon on the farthest sides of the north. Isaiah tells us Lucifer fell, and in Revelation, the dragon is cast down. And this dragon in the heavens was literally cast down. I'll tell you, the matches just don't get better than that. Now, if you are thinking, like I was, it doesn't get any better than this, you would be wrong as I was. And in fact, I'm just getting warmed up. We are dealing with God here, and His Word is perfect, sufficient, and absolutely complete. This concludes Part 3, Finding the Real Dragon, the Shining One, and the 7 Lucifers. Up next is Part 4, Finding the Real Dragon, 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns. And yes, they're all there. And Scripture again will give us the location. The title of our series is This Final Generation, and you can reach us at our web address, www.the70th7.com. That's 70th7.com. Thank you for joining us, and truly I look forward to being with you again real soon.